Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Jennifer Bowman with Olympia Piano, and in this short video I'm going to explain how to play a 3/2 rhythm, which is also known as a polyrhythm. In this video we'll explore polyrhythms where one hand will be playing a subdivision of 2 and the other hand plays a subdivision of 3. To give you an example of what a polyrhythm is, I'm just going to play a little bit of two of my favorite pieces that use these 3/2 subdivisions. First is the Debussy's Arabesque number 1. So the left hand has a subdivision of 2, 2, 3, 4, and right hand has a subdivision of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so together it sounds like this. And now I'll show you a polyrhythm where the left hand has triplets and right hand has a subdivision of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So together it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. That second piece was the middle section of Chopin's Fantasie Impromptu. So as you can hear, using a 3/2 rhythm is very beautiful, very fun to play once you get the hang of it. So this video is going to have 4 sections. First, I'm going to go over what a subdivision is and how it is usually counted. Secondly, I will show you how to figure out exactly when to play the notes in a 3/2. Third, I prepared a simple exercise you can print out, download it off my website to practice 3/2 with a very simple hand position. The link's in the video description. And then finally, I'll go over a few of the famous 3/2 passage from the piano repertoire. So let's get started with how to figure out the timing. I'm going to use some graphic visuals for this section to make it as clear as I can. For this video, I'm going to use the quarter note as the main beat, which would mean the key signature in the piece would be 2/4, 3/4, or 4/4. The number 4 on the bottom of the key signature means the quarter note gets the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a quarter note in the right hand. After teaching for so many years, I found that different students understand different types of visuals. So I'm going to use 2 different ones in this video, one circular and one linear. So let's start with the quarter note, highlighted in purple. Remember, this is going to be the beat. We're dealing with a 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 time signature. So if the beat were a circle, that quarter note would take up the time of the entire circle. When using the circular visual, I like to represent the start of the beat at the bottom, kind of like a bicycle wheel where the wheel would hit the pavement would be the beginning of the beat, would go around to the right. So if we were representing our measure in circular beats, it might look like this. 2/4 would be 2 circles, 3/4, 3 circles, and 4/4, 4 circles. Some people prefer a linear visual, so if you look up above, you see the quarter note. I've placed it in a long rectangle. This is more how a measure would actually be with the beat at the beginning of that rectangle. So you can see if we have 2/4, we have 2 long rectangles, 3/4, 3, and 4, so forth. The rectangle version is more like what you would see when playing music. The beat happens directly after the measure line. The main beat can be subdivided in many ways. In other words, you can play more than one note in a beat. We might play 1 beat. We might play 2. We might play 3. We might play 4. And so forth. So the most basic way to subdivide a beat is to split a beat in half. We often learn this rhythm at the beginning with patterns like ta, ta, tiki, ta, or ta, tiki, ta, ta. So those tikis are called eighth notes, and they're twice as fast as a quarter note. Ta, ta, tiki, ta, or ta, tiki, ta, ta. There are 2 of them in a beat, and they're joined together by that little line on the top of the notes. The more standard way, though, for counting those eighth note subdivisions would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When we use the and, we say the and, so we have something to say in each subdivision. So instead of ta, ta, tiki, we say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The and helps us keep track of how long the longer notes are and where the shorter notes should line up. So let's go back to the graphics, the circle and the rectangle. I'm going to represent the eighth notes with a yellow highlight. So you can see they're up above. We've got the 2 eighth notes, and they have that little line at the top joining them together. So if you look up at our visual representation, we've got a circle split in half and a rectangle split in half. And there would be 2 eighth notes in every beat. So when we put the eighth notes in the beat, you can see how the counting works. Imagine the circle going over to the right. The 1 is on the bottom. The and is on the top. Imagine all those circles rotating to the right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the rectangles again look a little bit more straightforward. The first eighth note comes at the very beginning of the beat. The second eighth note right after the midline of the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're saying the and, so we have something to say for those eighth notes. So we can also subdivide our beats into 3 equal sections. So it would sound like this. 2, 3, 4. You can hear they're a little bit more quick. There's 3 per beat. And in a time signature that has 4 on the bottom, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, a subdivision of 3 has a special name. It's called a triplet because this doesn't happen naturally in the subdivision. So we have to notate it a certain way. And so you'll see it's a group of 3 eighth notes beamed together, but there's a fancy number 3 on the bottom of that. You can see that 3 underneath the middle note. That 3 indicates, okay, we're splitting this beat into 3s. So when we have a triplet subdivision, now you can see with the visuals, in the circular visual, the pieces of pie or pieces of pizza are a little bit smaller. There's 3 of them fit into one, and the rectangle also 3 equal sections, each section a little bit smaller. So what does that mean? That means the notes are a little bit faster. So when we place the triplets in these visual beats, the circles will look like this. So the first note is the beat is on the bottom. Second note is top left, almost like 10 o'clock if you were looking at a clock. And the third note, top on the right side, almost like 2 o'clock if you were looking at a clock. A little bit smaller pieces in the circle, and the rectangle is just split into 3 even sections like this. So the counting for triplets is generally 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. It can get a little bit confusing because the ands happen a little bit earlier than they do with the eighth notes. It would look like this with the circles, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. And with the rectangles, more straightforward, like a 4/4 measure, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. So those are your basic subdivisions. We've got no subdivision, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 50-50 subdivisions, splitting in half with just the simple eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We have triplet subdivisions with the fancy 3 on the bottom, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. So now we're going to line up the 3 in one hand and the 2 in the other hand. And when we're dealing with the 3 versus 2 in piano, usually one hand is going to be playing the subdivision of 3, and the other hand will be playing the subdivision of 2. Of course, in more advanced repertoire, you might be playing 3 against 2 subdivision in one hand, but we are not going to focus on that in this video. As we work through this section, I'm going to have both hands just playing on C. So right hand's going to use the thumb, left hand use finger 5 playing C. So let's take a look at our visuals now. You can see right away, not all the notes are landing at the same time. With the eighth notes, we've got one at the bottom of the circle, one at the top of the circle. With the triplets, they're again at 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 2 o'clock, like I mentioned before. And similarly with the rectangles, you can see one's right at the midpoint and the other one's split into even thirds. So if I put them on top of each other in this visual, we'll have the yellow stems up will be the right hand, split into 2, left hand split into 3. So take a look at that visual now. You see the first note plays together because that's the beginning of the beat, but then the rest play at different times. Then we get the left, right, left. So in addition, when we're doing the counting for the eighth notes, the and comes halfway through the beat, and for the triplet, it comes a third through the beat. So it can get very confusing counting wise because we're trying to line these up. It's difficult to think one and up. So what we need to do is find a way to slowly figure out which hand plays at which time, lock that feeling in, and then speed it up. So I'm going to show you the traditional method first, and then I'm going to show you a non-traditional method that I've used for years with my students, and it has worked very well. So let's do the traditional first. The traditional method is to use a common denominator, just like we do in math. So we're going to multiply 2 by 3 to find our common denominator, which in this case is 6. So now I've got a visual beat up there, 6 segments with the circle or the rectangle, whichever you prefer. Let's place the notes in where they would go. So we see the eighth notes would be at the bottom and the top. The triplets would be split into 3. And when we put them together, you'll see the bottom of the beat in the circle, 2 notes there, that's the beginning of the beat. Nothing in subdivision 2. And then left hand, subdivision 3, right hand, subdivision 4, left hand, subdivision 5, nothing, subdivision 6. So just to figure out which hand plays when, we're going to count to 6. So let's count this out a couple times. The right hand's going to play the yellow ones. The left hand's going to play the blue ones. The stems down, left hand, stems up, right hand. Right hand's playing subdivision of 2, left hand playing subdivision of 3. So if we're counting to 6, we'll have together 1, 2 is nothing, 3 is left hand, 4 is right hand, 5 is left hand, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Together, left, right, left. Together, left, right, left. Let's try it looking at the other visual with the rectangle. Together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I find the circle is really valuable for seeing kind of how long everything is, and the rectangle is really valuable for how it occurs in real time. So let's do the rectangle now. We've got together, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's do it the other way. Now the left hand is going to have the subdivision of 2. So the left hand is going to be the yellow ones with the stems down. And then the right hand is going to have the subdivision of 3. So right hand is going to come on 1, 3, 5. Left hand's going to come on 1 and 4. Here we go. Circle first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's look at that rectangle. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Together, right, left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is your 2 against 3 or 3 against 2. As you can see from the visuals, some of the notes come right away. Some of them you have to wait a little bit. However, you try to speed up the tempo a little bit and do more than 1 beat. Sometimes counting to 6 gets a little difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I can't count fast enough. So this is the point I want to show you my more non-traditional method for 3 versus 2 that's worked really well. So earlier in the video, I was explaining the eighth note subdivision and how when we first learn our subdivisions, we just do it by ear with rhythms like ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. So the tiki being twice as fast as the ta. So what I like to do is use a ta, tiki, ta rhythm for 2 against 3. I'm going to use the same visual rectangle that we used earlier, subdivided into 6. So take a look, I've got the 6 subdivisions, and fit that ta, tiki, ta into that rectangle. So the ta will go in the first box. Because the ta is representing a quarter note, the next note is not going to occur until the third box because a quarter note lasts the same as 2 eighth notes. And then the T will go in box 3, key in box 4, 1/8 note each, and our final ta will go in the next box, and again will last for 2 boxes because a quarter is as long as 2 eighth notes. So we would do ta, tiki, ta. If you feel those tikis, I'll play tikis in my left hand. T. So every ta as long as 2 tikis. So now, if I number this rectangle to 6 like I did before, you can see that the ta, tiki, ta can be used to represent the 3 against 2 rhythm. You just have to figure out which hand plays on which syllable. If we have the right hand with the twos and yellow stems up and the left hand with triplets, it would be like this. Ta, tiki, ta. Ta, tiki, ta. Ta, tiki, ta. And if we switch to the right hand having the triplets and the left hand having the eighth notes, we just swap them. So it would be ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. As you can see, this works really well because it solves two problems. Problem one we already discussed. It's hard to count to 6 really fast. Problem 2 is when we subdivide different ways. As you may recall, the counting is 1 and 2 and for eighths, 1 and 2 and the counting for triplets is 1 and a 2 and a. So when we put those together, the ands aren't in the same place. So by using ta, tiki, ta, we're just creating a relationship between the notes in the beat. We're not thinking how long exactly is this quarter note or eighth note or whatever. We're thinking the relationship for the 2v3 can be thought of as a ta, tiki, ta. So you've just got to know which hand plays which syllable. All right, now we are to the third part of the video. So this is the part where I prepared this simple exercise for you to work on this technique. So this is available for free download, and the link is in the description. The exercise is in 5-finger position, key of C, and the time signature is 2/4, so 2 beats a measure, quarter note gets 1 beat. You'll see some little lines here that kind of show together, left, right, together, and then when we switch it, together, right, left, together. So you kind of get used to how that goes. I would recommend first going through each hand separately to get used to the fingering. So let's do the right hand first. We're going to start on 3, which would be me. 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it one more time. Solfege this time. Mi, fa, so, mi, do, re. Mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do. I created these exercises in 5-finger position with the goal of having you try them in all 12 keys. So now let's go over the left hand. Left hand is 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 2, 1. So left hand's basically do, mi, so, except for beat 2, measure 2, do, fa, so, do, mi, so, do, mi, so, do, fa, so, do, mi. So when we're just getting the hang of this, I like to just practice beat 1, stop on beat 2. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to get to here. Okay. So using the ta, tiki, ta method, you'll see it printed out above. Right hand has the eighths, left hand has the triplets. So the left hand's going to play the ta, the ti, and the ta. And then the right hand's going to play the ta and the key. So we'll start both hands on ta. Left hand finger 3 plays the T, right hand finger 4 plays the key, T, key, and then left hand plays the ta with finger 1, ta, and then together on the next beat 1. Let's do that again. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. A little faster. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Together, left, right, left, together. All right, so we got beat 1 to beat 2. Now, beat 2, measure 1, right hand is just a quarter note, so that's going to hold for the left hand beat, but the left hand needs to keep counting. So the left hand needs to think ta, tiki, ta, or ta, ta, ta. Either way is fine, but don't just go really fast with no rhythm. So we have ta, tiki, ta, 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 ta. Measure 2, same thing. Together, left, right, left, together. Finger 3, 3, 1, 1, 2, and 5. And then the left hand's going to switch fingering here, measure 2. So we've got 2 in a row. So let's start here, and then we'll stop on the first beat of measure 4. Together, left, right, left, together, left, right, left, together. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. last measure. Different fingering for the left hand. Left hand's going to have 5, 2, 1. Right hand has 3, 2, 1. So 3 and 5, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 5. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Together, left, right, left, together. Let's do that all the way through now. So we've got together, left, right, left, together, tiki, ta, together, left, right, left, ta, ta, ta. Together, left, right, left, together, left, right, left, together, left, right, left, together. Now let's do it more quickly. Ready and go. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, hold. All right, and now let's switch it. So in line 2 at the bottom of the page, now the right hand has the triplets, so the stem's up for the right hand. Right hand gets to play ta, ti, and ta. Left hand plays ta and ki. So we'll do the same thing. So let's just go through the melody of the left hand by itself. So we've got mi, fa, sol, mi, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And right hand's just 5, 3, 1, and sometimes 5, 4, 2. So just as we did in the first exercise, we're going to start on beat 1, stop on beat 2, just that much. So we've got together, right hand 3, left hand 2, right hand 1, and then together. Together, right, left, right, together. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Now let's do the whole measure. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. Measure 2, same thing, stop on beat 2. So we have 3 with the left hand, 5 with the right hand. Ta, 3, 5, 1, and then 4 and 5. Together, right, left, right, together. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Whole measure. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. Now the measure with 2 in a row. Here we go. We've got left hand 3, right hand 5. Together, right, left, right, together, right, left, right, together. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta. And our final measure, left hand has 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 2, 1 in the right hand. Together, right, left, right, together. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Here's the whole thing. Ta, tiki, ta, 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 ta. 1, 2, 3, ready, and go. So now you can take this exercise and, because it's in 5-finger position, transpose it to different keys. Just do the same thing. And so forth. Get used to how it feels in different positions with black keys. Also, try it with minors. To make it minor, you take the mi, finger 3, lower it down a half step. Sad 3 against 2. All right, we're to our final step of the video, and this is where I'm just going to show you a couple things from the repertoire, how to approach it. So let's start with the Debussy. The left hand has the 2, so make sure you are secure in the fingering. For the left hand, I'd recommend 5, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, and again 5, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Also, sometimes people might do 4, 2, 4. Whatever you do, make sure that you feel really, really comfortable so you don't have to think about it. Right hand, I like to do 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 2, 4, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, switch, 1. So we'll start with the left hand. When you have the eighth notes, you have to know, okay, is that coming on the ta or a T or a key? What is it coming on? Ta, T, key. It's coming on the key. So start counting that way when you're figuring this out. Ta, T, key, ta, 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 ta. And quickly, that would sound like this. Okay, now for the Chopin, we've got the middle of the Fantasie Impromptu. So beautiful. Left hand has the triplets. So this time, left hand will have the ta, tiki, ta. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. Right hand has the duples, and I'll do it without the trill first, and then I'll do it with the trill. So the right hand's going to have ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta. And for the fingering, we're just going to use 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lots of ways to finger this. Okay, so hands together. Here we go. Ta, tiki, ta, 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 ta, tiki, ta. Now I'll go a little more quickly, and I will do the trill here. So we've got Nocturne in G minor. This is opus 37, number 1. So we're going to look at measure 16, and we're just going to start. There's a bunch of quarter notes at the beginning and eighth notes as well. Eighth notes are going to come on the key, and then the quarter notes, we're just going to count through the ta, tiki, ta. So we start on measure 16. We're going to have the ta go together. Ta, ti, key. That'll come on the key because it's right after an eighth note. Okay. Ta, tiki, ta. Now we have got a full beat. Ta, tiki, ta. Ta, tiki, ta. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. A little more quickly. Ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta. This is Mendelssohn Songs Without Words, opus 53, at the very beginning. For the 2 verses 3, the left hand has the triplets, but the right hand actually plays them on beat 1 here. So we've got ta, tiki, ta, 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 tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta. You'll start getting used to that together, left, right, left kind of rhythm. Ta, tiki, ta, ta. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video on 3 verses 2 and 2 verses 3 polyrhythms. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. As always, my goal is to provide helpful content presented in a clear fashion. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please write to me in the comments or send me an email. I always like hearing from you, and thank you for watching.